Four state businesses learn the latest on cybersecurity here at the Jomo Tech Summit in Joplin. Details are coming up.
And why the Baxter Springs Police Department says it's important to make sure your house numbers are clearly marked.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Four state businesses today talk technology and cybersecurity in Joplin. This is KOAM News at 6. It was for the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce Innovation and Technology Summit. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to a business that was there looking into increased online security options.
The four-state area may not be Silicon Valley, but the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce is convinced it has what it takes to be a tech leader.
We have a great story to tell here in Southwest Missouri, and we're a technical hub just like anybody else on the coast. And people are learning that, but we want to make sure that we tell that story.
And the Chamber believes a good way to tell that story is by kicking off an annual Innovation and Technology Summit, which they did Friday at Joplin's James River Church. The summit brought together local technology-related businesses, let them hear from cybersecurity experts, and gave them a chance to discuss other tech issues, including e-commerce and digital workforce development.
I think it's really key that we work to retain the current tech talent that we have, but also really work to figure out how we develop future tech talent.
Cybersecurity was a major theme of the summit, and many local businesses were there making sure they aren't the next ransomware victim. The owners of Hunt's Mobile Detailing in Joplin say making sure their customers' data is as safe as possible was a big reason for them attending.
We do have a very large clientele. We use online for almost everything anymore because everyone uses their phone to book something. They give us calls. We keep an extensive database on people's phone numbers, emails, addresses, everything. So learning about the data security as well on that has helped us out to where we can go in and implement some measures to keep those safe.
In Joplin, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Today's Technology Summit was an inaugural event for the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce. The next summit is already scheduled for November 3rd and 4th of 2022. Brings us to today's KOAM News Now Insta Poll. Our question: on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that your online information is secure? You can participate at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on them a little bit later in this newscast. A bit cool, but overall a nice day out there. Nick Kelly.
And unlike last Friday, Dow, we aren't dealing with any rain chances to start this weekend now. So we had plenty of partly to mostly sunny skies, more on the mostly side with our live shot there from 7th and Rangeline at the 6 o'clock hour from the east side of Joplin. Just to make doubly sure, we have nothing on the radar network, even with maybe a little cloud cover this morning and some additional partly to mostly sunny skies that came through during the afternoon hours. Overall, though, we're looking great as we get this evening underway. And as far as temperatures go, they're not too bad either. We were in the mid to upper 50s last hour. Now we're seeing more mid 50s across the board. As long as that sun's still up and that south breeze remains in place at 5 to 10 miles per hour, we'll still hold near 53 during this hour, drop to 46 by 8 o'clock. Gives you an idea that outdoor plans, football games, chilly, but you're good to go with dry weather aplenty for the evening and into the overnight before we drop back into the upper 30s to near 40s. We'll break down how good this weekend's looking and the week ahead here in a bit now.
Nick, thanks. Joplin's Mercy Hospital will host a kids vaccination clinic in just over a week. It's going to be on Saturday, November 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They'll have 300 doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine available. The clinic is by appointment only. You can find a link to set up an appointment in this story on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Baxter Springs Police Department is asking residents to take steps to make sure first responders can find their homes. The department says a lot of homes do not have visible numbers to indicate the house address. Those numbers should be clearly visible and at least 3 inches tall.
A lot of people don't understand that their houses aren't necessarily numbered, in order. And if you don't have a number on it, you may get, ambulance crews from out of town that are trying to find your house that don't know where you live. Local officers might know, other people might not. And in that emergency, seconds count.
The department says that while they'll find the houses of anyone who needs assistance, that extra time it takes could prove costly in an emergency. U.S. Senator Roy Blunt, Governor Mike Parson, and Bass Pro CEO Johnny Morris were in Southwest Missouri today. The senator and his guests were in Asbury to promote legislation known as the Recovering America's Wildlife Act. The bill would bring more than millions of dollars to Missouri for conservation efforts.
I think we've seen great efforts in our state. No state has been more conservation, wildlife friendly than our state. But this would be a $1.3 billion annual project. It comes out of some environmental penalty funds.
Supporters say the bill would lead to $20 million being invested in Missouri. November is Native American Heritage Month. It's a time to honor the traditions and histories of Native people. And one bookstore in Pittsburgh says it's something they do year-round. But they're using this month especially to educate the public on Native Americans' contributions and presence in the community.
We're here. We in our community, that's you hear that a lot. We're still here. Actually, I think there's a book behind me that's the title. We're still here, and we're doing things. You know, we're business owners. We're part of the community, and that's important for everyone to know.
Books and Borough in Pittsburgh will host informational events throughout the month of November, including a free film screening and Native American stories. We're going to have more on that for you tonight at 10. Still ahead, a milestone for a Joplin nonprofit working to provide a voice for child victims of abuse. And the local artist putting her art to work helping children at St. Jude's. Representatives from Joplin's Children's Center gathered today to recognize a milestone. Since its inception in 1997, the center has served 20,000 local victims of child abuse. The children served by the center are referred by local agencies in the center's 12-county area.
Over our 24 years, we've obviously grown. We started off with a staff of 2, and now we have a staff of about 20. And so we're able to provide those services in our more rural areas of the counties that we serve. And we now provide therapy for kids who have experienced that trauma to help with the healing afterwards.
Children's Center is a not-for-profit organization created to provide a safe, child-focused setting for investigating and treating child abuse in Southwest Missouri. Fifth graders at McKinley Elementary headed off to college today, to get a lesson on anatomy. KCU Medical School in Joplin hosted the Champs Anatomy Academy. The academy pairs elementary students with KCU medical students to learn about medical terms, body systems, and functions.
I would hope that some of them are interested in science, kind of piques their interest in science, and also I would like to see that it helps them understand science a little more. So, especially the human body is what we're focused on in here right now.
The Champs Anatomy Academy is a 6-week program. A Newton County High School senior is using her art to help others. Kristen Coffey is calling on her YouTube viewers to commission drawings for donations to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. She'll create the drawing for a $5 donation, and thus far, she's raked in $3,000 in 3 weeks.
I raised money for St. Jude as like a whole entire like project thing, because one of the YouTubers that I watch was like, hey, I'm doing this challenge. The person who raises the most money for St. Jude gets to go to LA. And I was like, shoot, that sounds fun. And it's a whole good deal. I'm telling you, man.
Here 3,000 is the official number. Actually, more than that. Coffey appeared on the YouTube original show Instant Influencer on the October 27th episode. Later, the Kansas City Chiefs will take on the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers team this weekend. And although we won't be getting Mahomes versus Rodgers, Mitch Holthus talks about another matchup to keep an eye on.
But first, we don't have a lot to keep an eye on this weekend. Thankfully, quiet with warming temperatures. We'll break down the numbers when we come back. A bit of a cold start this morning, but thankfully we avoided the freeze, something that we couldn't avoid our first freeze yesterday morning. Let's look back on those numbers once again because it was a bit colder than I was expecting. But Mother Nature, she'll always do whatever she wants, so we dropped back near 30, or at the very least 32 across much of the area yesterday morning, but we rebounded nicely into the mid-50s. This time around, though, as Doug advertised, we're back in the upper 30s this morning, and a good jump into the upper 50s this afternoon. This is a warming trend we've been itching to see after we had to deal with so many cool days throughout the course of the week, especially early this week. And this time last week, to get the weekend going, we were tracking quite a bit of rain on our Friday. But this time around, just partly to mostly sunny skies. And just to make doubly sure, absolutely nothing on the radar network. So we are looking good, not just for this evening and tonight, but throughout the rest of the weekend. Mild and dry weather, that's in place, locked in for Saturday going into next Monday. But sticking with Doug's pattern, in the middle of next week, we'll watch for our next storm system to bring rain chances our way. And then when that clears out, we'll dry out a bit for the next weekend. But temperatures, they'll be going back into the November chill by the end of next week. In the meantime, though, 6:15, sun's beginning to set, but give it 2 days, then we'll see sunset at around 5:14. So got to get ready for the sun to set earlier than we're accustomed to. In the meantime, though, the daylight that we have still keeping us at 54 with the southwest breeze at 6 miles per hour. Most of us are in the mid-50s for the most part. 53s around Stockton Lake, 54 in Columbus, Joplin, and Miami, while we have Independence at 56. These temperatures warmed up nicely today, not just because of relatively dry air in place, but a light south breeze at 5 to 10 across much of the region. But you go into southeast Kansas, we had some wind speeds try to push 15 miles per hour throughout the day, but the breeze stays light throughout the course of the night. And with mostly clear skies, we'll be back into the mid to upper 40s by 8 o'clock, 40 by midnight, and upper 30s for your overnight lows once again, thankfully avoiding another freeze. Not much else happening across the entire four-state region. Not much to show on the surface, but except for high pressure over Pennsylvania. That's still strong enough, though, to keep that light southerly breeze in place. But it's this next cold front I'm watching. That will start to bring in rain chances for the middle of the week. But before it gets here, though, we have this upper level ridge. That is our weather, keeping us mild and dry, thankfully, for the rest of the weekend. For tonight, that building upper level ridge will again help us out by staying out of the freeze. Can't avoid, though, another cold night, though, with upper 30s to near 40 degrees across much of the region. Most of us will average out about 38 to start the morning out. Even with that, so the light south breeze and mostly sunny skies and dry air still in place, we'll quickly go to 55 by noon and highs near 64 and Joplin and across the entire region. This upper level ridge pushes us back near 70 on Sunday and lower 70s for Monday. Not bad. Then, the middle of next week, that front out west will be driven in here by a couple of upper level lows, and you can see how it wants to bring in the better shot for rain and thunderstorms, our next best shot at least, especially by Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. 64 Saturday, 69 Sunday, 72 on Monday. Great weather for the next 3 days, Dow, before we see maybe a few showers Tuesday and Wednesday and a better chance for rain on Thursday.
And we have to remember to fall back tomorrow night whether we like it or not.
Yeah, sun sets early, but I'll take that extra nap time.
I would rather have the extra evening daylight, but what do you do? Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, it's a big night of high school football playoff action in the four states. Sports director Jacob Leonard joins us live to preview tonight's regional championship game between Frontenac and Galena. Straight ahead.
Well, welcome to Abbey Field here in Galena, where tonight the hometown Bulldogs host the Frontenac Raiders. Now this game, it's as big as it gets. The winner earns a 3A regional championship and moves on to play in the state quarterfinals next week. Now these two teams, they play in the same league, but they didn't actually play each other in the regular season. Galena is 8-1 coming into the night, while Frontenac is 7-2. Now the Bulldogs are scoring a little more than the Raiders, but the Frontenac defense has been the real deal all season long, allowing just 11 points per game. The last time these two teams met, Frontenac beat Galena in the first round of the playoffs last season. Also in the 3A bracket tonight, big one in Girard. The Trojans host the Parsons Vikings for a regional title. Girard is 9-0, while Parsons is 7-2 and on a 5-game winning streak. On the Missouri side, Carthage and Webb City both at home. Also a good one here. Joplin hosts Nixa in the Class 6 District 3 semifinals. This is a COC rematch from the regular season, a game that Joplin won 28-25. I like all of the games in our area. This one begins at 7 o'clock. We'll have highlights right here tonight at 10. Moving on to the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs are 4-4 through their first 8 games of the season. Last time out, they picked up a win on Monday night, beating the Giants 20-17. This week, they remain at home, this time facing the Green Bay Packers on Sunday afternoon. Like we do every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
The NFL wanted this showdown 2 years ago, and they're still not going to get it. The showdown between Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers and Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Remember, in 2019, Mahomes was injured the week before that much-anticipated game. Now, Aaron Rodgers has tested positive for COVID, and he's unvaccinated, so he's out for this year's game. But there's another showdown here. Curly Lambeau founded the Green Bay Packers in 1919. He was their player, coach, and coach for 3 decades. Curly had 226 career wins as an NFL head coach. If the Chiefs can beat the Packers and Jordan Love on Sunday, the Chiefs coach will have 226 career wins and catch Curly Lambeau. No Rodgers versus Mahomes, but catch Curly on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by KOAM Jewelry. Every day's game day, KOAM Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
That game kicks off on Sunday afternoon on Fox 14 at 3:25. The Chiefs, by the way, are 7.5-point favorites. Before we get to that, though, we have a huge amount of high school football here in the 4 states. Playoff action in both Southeast Kansas and Southwest Missouri. Join us right back here tonight at 10 for 4-State Friday night. There, we'll have high school football highlights and scores from all across the area, including this big one in Galena between the Bulldogs and Frontenac for a regional championship. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Sergeant Derek Berry served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Baxter Springs, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Sergeant Derek Berry. He's tonight's 4-State hero. You know, we have more than 3,000 of these heroes in our database. You can look them up by hometown, also by last name, and we're always looking for more. If you'd like to nominate a hero of your own, why not do it right now? Just go to our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Jordan Obby joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, going to see how a Pittsburgh bookstore is honoring Native American Month. Also, fears that higher wages and signing bonuses to lure workers could actually be making the whole economic situation even worse. And former Secretary of State Colin Powell is remembered today during his funeral. That, of course, much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
All right, let's check in on today's KOAM News Now Instapoll. We're asking, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that your online information is secure? And at the moment, a lot of participants are kind of feeling insecure about their online information. Average rating is only a 3. You can participate at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. We're going to keep this poll open through the night, so you'll have until about 10:15 tonight to vote. There's a new girl in town at the National Toy Hall of Fame. The American Girl doll joins Barbie, the baby doll, and Raggedy Ann at the exhibit in the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. Educator Pleasant Rowland created the 18-inch American Girl doll in 1986 to help teach kids about America's social and cultural history. Each doll has a unique story for her time and place and comes with an accompanying educational book. Other inductees this year include the board game Risk and Sand. Just plain old play sand. Cabbage Patch Kids, Mahjong, and billiards failed to make the cut this time. Sand, I'm in favor of sand, but I'll tell you what, I've checked the list. Yeah. Fewer than 100 in there. Not included in the Hall of Fame for toys, rock, mud, stick. I used to be a kid.
Yeah.
Who hasn't thrown a rock and skipped it across the pond?
Easy go-to toys.
Yeah, they should be there, I think. I'll lobby for those. Yeah. The weather.
All right, cold tonight, but we're looking good for the weekend. Mostly sunny skies. We'll be in the 60s.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.